Welcome. It's a new day and, of course, a new race meeting for us all. Turffontein Standside Track Racing. Certainly looking forward to it. Just a reminder again about that social media strap which is up on your screen. All the information you need is there. Please jot it down. Send us a message. We're hoping to find you a few winners. It looks to be a very nice card out at Turffontein. Just an update for all the viewers around the globe. The weather in Johannesburg, the last, say, 24 hours, it's been very, very cold. There's been a bit of rain around. I'm hoping leading into Thursday that will clear up and it'll be a good day for racing. We're going to go straight to Darren Burrows on the line. Darren, welcome to the show. We've got a 1-3 favourite in the form of Ripple Effect to kick off proceedings. Are we going with this in a big way?
It looks a one-horse race on paper. You know, she ran third against the Colts in the nursery, and that's good enough to put this field to bed.
All right, yeah, I mean, short and sweet. Thanks to Darren. I don't think there's much more we can really add. There's a reason this horse is 1-3 in the market. I know she's got all the ability in the world. It was a top run behind Lucky Lad in its last start, beaten just on 3 lengths. Daryl, what can you tell us about this particular race? I mean, we can't get rich at 1-3. But in terms of bets, I'm sure banker, maybe we can start up a few doubles and trebles going forward for the day.
Yeah, total to comes. I was very impressed with her penultimate start. I mean, she raced wide on that occasion. She gave the runner up weight, so I thought it's better than what it appears on paper. 3 runs back, that run beyond Mrs. Geriatrics. Looking back now, that's a great effort. So yeah, she's certainly the one to beat.
Look, just quickly, I mean, we've got that option of tote bets available, and I mean, we'd be silly to be advising viewers to rush off and say have 100 wins on the tote because there's no value to be had. We've got the exacta option, Daryl. So I want to ask you about the exacta route over here. If we were going to go Ripple Effect to win, what would be the second horse? So we're going to follow that up with.
No, I'll leave that to you, Brandon. I'd rather, a winning bet is...
Our Star, you can't tell us anything about Our Star.
Any winning bet is better than a losing bet. So back her on the nose. Even if you show a 30% profit on your money, what's wrong with that?
Daryl's too shrewd. I think the exacta horse, and perhaps I'm wrong, I mean, I haven't had a good look at the balance of the field, but I think I Star, I think it's going to be one of those horses that will be right there in the mix of things late in the day. So perhaps the exact Ripple Effect to beat I Star. Let's go and have a look what we're doing in terms of selections over here. That'll be up on your screen. The bipod starts now, and Daryl Marie's going to banker number 1 Ripple Effect by 1 and 3, by banker 6, by 1 and 5, by 1 and 4, by 3, 4, 5, 8 and 9. It's going to cost you 40 Rand. Take that a few times. 12:45 is the off time and it's over 1160 meters, which means being on the Standside track, we up the straight. First leg of the place accumulator now, race number 2. And what a race this is going to be. There's some lovely horses lining up over here. All the money for now in the markets for Sandringham Summit, number 3, who's trading at 16-10. 1 Jerusalem Rain, 17-10. The 2 Ready to Charge at 7-2. And you can write your price about the balance of the field. All right, so I'm going to go to Darren. Darren, this is going to be a great race. Obviously, Sandringham Summit, that's the money spinner at the moment. Lovely horse, lots to learn. You've got Ready to Charge, who I thought was super impressive last time out. And not forgetting Jerusalem Rain, who also ran a cracking race in his last start. So how are we going to play this particular race?
Brandon, I thought between the 3 runners, I'm not going to split all of 1, 2 and 3. Now, Sandringham Summit, pity about the 1 draw. Maybe he'll angle over if he gets some cover and maybe move slightly across, because if it is a bit wet, I feel that the outside drawers have a slight advantage. Ready to Charge, 1 with a ton in hand on debut. He's open to further improvement. He'll be right there. And then last but not least, Jerusalem Rain ran 2nd in the nursery. We'll see if that form's been franked in the first race with Ripple Effect. But Jerusalem Rain's got the draw in its favour, everything. So 1, 2 and 3 trifecta boxed cost you 6 Rand.
Now, it does look to be a 3-horse race, and I think all 3 of these horses will go through the divisions. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to go to Daryl quickly and see what he likes. Daryl, this particular race, I mean, Jerusalem Rain, I thought a cracking run last time out. I know that they've got some big expectations for this individual. The two ready to charge. There was an individual called Open Highway in that particular race. I know didn't win his very next start after that, but did win a very good race at the Vaal on Tuesday. And then you've got Sandringham Summit, who I'm very excited about. So maybe you can help us over here.
Yeah, going to be a great race, Brandon. If Sandringham Summit was drawn towards the outside, or if you swap the draws between numbers 1 and 3, I'd be very bullish on Sandringham, because if you use Zoom Bombay as the line horse, he's got Jerusalem Rain stone cold. I mean, he beat him by 4 lengths, whereas Jerusalem Rain beat him by 1 length. Then on a line through Lucky Lad as well, he holds Jerusalem Rain, but he's got the draw in his advantage now. Sandringham's having his second one off the rest, so there is some doubt. Yeah, that's why I'm not willing to separate the two of them. I think Jerusalem Rain did improve. On debut, Guy Gibson beat him by a neck. In the nursery, he beat Guy Gibson by a length and a quarter, so he's made good improvements. Yeah, 1 and 3 for me.
Oh, it's going to be a great race. Let's put those selections up on your screen. Let's see what the guys are doing. It's the first leg of today's place accumulator. Daryl Marie going 1 and 3. So Jerusalem Rain and 3 Sandringham Summit. I'll be absolutely shocked if you weren't to come through with those numbers in the first leg. By Banker 6, by 1 and 5, by 1 and 4, by 3 and 9, by 4 and 5. By Banker 8 going to cost you 32 Rand. Race goes off at 13.20 and it's up the straight again over 1160 meters. So we move along to the first leg of today's Pick 6, race number 3, and again a competitive field. It's a small field, but there's a few nice horses over here. I think the last I had a look, this horse Brave Viking was finding all the support just ahead of Meridius, who won a cracking race last time out. So let me call that up. Brave Viking's now 16-10. Meridius number 1's at 28-10. Willow Express at 9-2. That's number 2. Running Rifles number 5 at 9-2, and you're getting 14-1 in better bar those. All right, so I'm going to go to Darren on the line. Darren, a good race. I'm not sure. I mean, Brave Viking 16-10, Meridius at 28-10. Should that gap be so big?
Yes, I believe so. I've banked Brave Viking in the Pick 6. Now, he's got 52 kilos. Last time was a plated race and he wasn't striding out. If he's moving well this time around, which I'm sure he will be, I think he'll just about win. He's receiving 8 kilos from Meridius. I feel that's a bit too much. So I'm going in with confidence, Brave Viking, to open the Pick 6.
So there's the confidence you need. The answer's yes, 16-10 about this horse, Brave Viking. And I tell you, Philisande Mpoli is riding out of the top draw. That ride on Zuzan at the Vaal on Tuesday afternoon, getting into a bone fight with Willow's Wish, was certainly a very good ride. And hats off to Philisande. Daryl, what can you tell us about this race? I mean, I did catch up with Ashley and Andrew Fortune on Tuesday out at the Vaal, and they said to me, listen, Meridius is doing very well back at home. He's a massive runner come Thursday afternoon. Brave Viking, I know they've always had big expectations for this horse. Excuses last time out. I think we can put a line through that. But in saying that, I still thought it was a good run.
Yeah, Brandon, if you watch that replay of Brave Viking's last race, I mean, he was cramped at a crucial part of the race. Thereafter, he just didn't manage to get into stride on the inside track. I can't see Meridius giving him 8 kilograms. You know, they're both two very nice sorts. Meridius won very impressively late in his later starts. I thought he had that race under control 400 meters from home. So he's a lovely sort, but 8 kilograms is a lot of weight. Brave Viking, in his penultimate start, his first run after arrest, it was a plated race. He could only pick up a maximum £6 penalty. So in my mind, because of that cap, he's ahead of the handicapper, 52 kilograms to shoulder. Just hope that he's moving well and feeling well on the day. I think he should get the better of Meridius.
Have you given up on Willow Express? I mean, I know I've been following him a number of times, and he's one of those horses that needs everything to go right. But, I mean, I'm reading in between the lines. You haven't even mentioned him, so you've given up.
I have given up.
Given up. I've also given up, unfortunately. I think it's a straight match race. I really do think that Meridius and Brave Viking will fight it out. And Daryl, just quickly before I go back to you, I know we need to wrap this segment up, but Phyllis Sunday, I mean, hats off to him the way he's riding at the moment.
It's wonderful to see, Brandon. I must admit, I thought he'd struggle when he lost his claim, and he's proved me wrong. So keep going, Phyllis Sunday. Brandon, if you're playing trifectas and quartet, Sir Michael, stable's coming back. Got a few pounds pull on Meridius, he'll get closer. Throw him in.
All right, let's put those selections up. Let's see what we're doing over here for this particular race. It is the start of the pick 6, and Darren Burroughs going to bank a number 6 Brave Viking. I think you do need to add Meridius over there based on the confidence that's come through from the stable. By 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 and 9, by Banker 1, by 2, 3, 4, 5 and 8, by Field, 396 Rand gives it to you for 10%, and you need to be on by 13.55. All right, so we move along. We go to race number 4, and this is where the first jackpot starts. I see Turbo Power is your favorite at 22-10. Number 2, Free Movement, 28-10, was beaten at odds-on favorite last time out. Deep in the red, unfortunately. The 1, Gimme a Diamond, 9-2, and it's 7-1, and better bar those. All right, so I'm going to go to Darren first. Darren, are we going to give this horse Free Movement one last chance, or are you going with Turbo Power in a big way?
Yeah, Free Movement. I thought he would have got it right by now, you know. He's obviously not too good, but you got to give him a big say in this lineup. You got to give Me a Diamond a chance on that penultimate start behind Bob's Your Uncle, where we saw multiple winners that ran behind him come out to win. Turbo Power, that was a good debut. He was carded to run last week, I think. The third place runner in that race was Klitzgras, and he ran unplaced in a work rider race yesterday. So that has to be a concern. Lion's Eye, open to improvement, ran behind Sandringham Summit, a lovely bred Silvano out of Seacat. It could be tricky. I played the safe route, but I'm not sure what my first selection would actually be.
It doesn't look to be a straightforward race on paper, and I wonder if Daryl will agree with me, because I found a bit of value over here. The only thing that worries me is the draw. This was Godspeed. I see trading 16-1. 16-1 Godspeed. I think it's a massive price. Back to the 1400 meters, no weight on the back. My biggest concern, Daryl's the draw.
Yeah, you got an apprentice in the irons that's riding with a lot of confidence. I'm sure he's going to get her into a good spot. Miss Heather Adamson's filly won from that form line, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday at the Val, Be Real.
That's right.
Yeah, she's a filly. I mean, have a look. She's in receipt of a good few kilograms, being a 2-year-old filly. I must be honest, she doesn't form part of my play, Brandon, but maybe you're happy to hear that. Yeah, Turbo Power. The run of Klitzgras does concern me, but from what I saw on debut, this horse is going to love the extra. He showed a lot of pace in the early stages of that race. Then if you watch the middle section, he totally lost interest, and he was doing his best work late. So I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to appreciate the extra 200 meters. What's against him is his inexperience, and he's having his first run around a bend. Ignore Gimme a Diamond's later starts, and he'll be your first pick by a considerable distance. So he's the likely danger. For me, 1 and 5 to fight it out.
Nobody seems to like a bit of Free Movement. I wonder if they might just go forward with Free Movement. I think he's a better horse on speed. I know he's been very frustrating to follow, and last time out we did our absolute life on Free Movement. I know he was restrictive odds, but there were so many doubles and trebles going forward into him. But he's going to get it right. I wouldn't write him off just yet. One of these days he's going to put his best foot forward and he's going to get it right. And I think he'll win a few races in succession. Let's go quickly and see what we're doing in terms of selections over here. Jackpot 1, Daryl Marie's gone 1 and 5. So give me a diamond and the 5. Turbo Power by 1 and 4, by 3, 4, 5, 8 and 9, by 4 and 5. 40 Rand is the spend. Jackpot 1 goes off at 2:30. Let's move along. Let's go to race number 5, the start of Jackpot 2. And the market's got number 1, Angel of War, now trading at 22 to 10. Before I carry on with the market, just another reminder about that social media strap. It is up on your screen. The Twitter handle's there, the WhatsApp number's there. So please just soak it up. It's on your screen at the moment. Angel of War, 22 to 10. Good win last time out. Vitelius, I think that's how we say it. Number 2 is at 3 to 1. 6 Vesubio is at 9 to 2, and it's 8 to 1 in better bar those. Darren, what do you like over here when it comes to this particular race? I mean, this was Angel of War, was all the rage last time out. Got the job done. Marco van Rensburg's riding very well at the moment. Do you like this horse today?
Banker for me, Brandon. Last time out, he over-raced terribly around the bend. I thought he was going to find nothing, and he still found a good finish. I like that they're dropping him back in trip on the stand-side track. It's a testing 1400, so it'll suit him down to the ground. And even with 61.5 kilos, the one draw, I think he'll win.
I also think he's going to take a bit of stopping, there's no doubt. I know he's got a bit of pudding to carry, but similar ride with Marco, confidence. Good winner with Be Real at the Val the other afternoon being Tuesday. And he's just a good rider as Marco. He deserves all these opportunities. And I mean, we talk about in-form trainers, jockeys. Paulie Matchett. I mean, here's a trainer that's certainly on fire at the moment. I think this horse Angel of War is going to take a lot of beating. Let's hope that Daryl can give us the nod. You can sometimes be a little bit iffy but come on, Daryl, help us over here.
I'm going to give you the nod, but I'm also going to say in the same breath that I didn't banker him, Brandon. He took a tug last time, and I was very surprised that he managed to finish that race off. My concern is, will he take a pull up the Turffontein hill and empty out? If he settles behind a horse like Robert Burns, I think he'll mow him down. Let's hope from a one-draw marker doesn't have to do too much. He can come out softly and let him drop the bit, because I actually think he's a very nice horse. So he's my clear-cut first pick. Robert Burns, this horse hasn't been fortunate with draws. I mean, you can see his last 4 or 5 runs, he's jumped from the worst barrier positions. From a 3 gate, the stable on the Highveld are coming to form now. He's not going to have to work to get to the front. He'll improve on what he's shown recently. So for me, 1 from 4. Not looking past the 2 of them.
You know what I love about Daryl? And perhaps we can actually get a good shot of Daryl, because you don't know if you've done 1 million or won 1 million.
Yeah, Brandon, that's
just one of those grinders. You just keep finding.
The less said, the better.
100%. Well done, Daryl. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections over here. Let's see what we're doing race number 5. I see we've gone with this Jackpot 2, which is up on your screen at the moment. We're going to banker the 1 Angel of War. So Angel of War, the confidence has come through. I think going to take a lot of beating. By 2, 3, 4, 5 and 8 by field. 660 Rand the spend. So this is Jackpot 2 up on your screen. It goes off at 3:05 and it's over 1,400 meters. This is a very good race as we go on to race number 6, and it's great to have Sheila back on the racetrack. 16 to 10 over here about Sheila. Roll with the punches, number 4 at 5 to 1. Mercantor, number 2 at 11 to 2. And it's 7 to 1 and better bar those. All right, so I'm going to go to Darren on the line. Darren, full of ability, Sheila. There's a lot of speed in this particular race, so I'm hoping they don't go that breakneck speed up in front, and it sets it up for something to run on. But she's got the ability, she's got the talent, no doubt. And if she's rocked up at the races in the form that we know she's capable of, she's going to take a lot of beating.
Yes, Sheila's got 56.5 kilos, so that's a handy galloping weight for her. Last time out in the computer form sprint, ran a good 4th. She wasn't disgraced. Before that, her form was faultless. So she's got to be a serious runner. Roll with the punches. He's very speedy. He's going to put the field on the stretch and be the horse to catch going through the 300. If Sheila can reel him in, we'll have to wait and see. Horses like Mover and Shaker, 50.5 kilos to shoulder, drawn hard up on the outside. He's got a big advantage with that. So 3, 4, and 8 to fight it out. And then I've included Mercantor and Godswood into my wider perm.
Now, look, there's no doubt that Sheila's the class package in this particular contest. My only concern, if there is a concern, is that there is a lot of speed. And the last thing you want is 2-3 horses going hammer and tong right up until the last 400 meters, because you're going to have fresh legs on the scene. Daryl, I'm not sure you would have watched, no doubt, the In Full Flight handicap, that listed event at Hollywood Bet Scottsville. This horse, Mercantor, came from a long way back. And if the speed is on over here, he's going to be finishing off nicely, as is Godswood, who's got no weight on the back.
Yeah, interesting race. I'd like to ask you something, Brandon. Can you cut throats over 1,000 meters?
Potentially, I think you can. I mean, Daryl, I might have a different opinion to many other people out there, and I mean, my opinion might not matter at the end of the day, but I think you can certainly have 2-3 horses right alongside each other, because I mean, the last thing you want, if you want to get to the front up the straight, you ideally want to be doing it on your own. You don't want them to be over racing alongside another horse that's a bit strong. I mean, I think you can potentially cut throats in 1,000 meters. I mean, if you've got 2 horses going very hard, something that's sitting just in behind is going to peel out and run on. So that's my opinion. And like I say, I might be wrong, and you might be getting the WhatsApp saying, listen, this man's got no idea.
Yeah.
But I think you can certainly have that happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of pace towards the outside with Roll with the punches and Mover and Shaker. I mean, personally, I don't see Mover and Shaker being able to go with Roll with the punches in the early stages, but let's wait. The pace is towards the outside. Danilovic, Brandon, last time out in the computer form sprint at level weights, ignore. Penultimate start, decent effort. With the pace being on the outside, he's not gonna lock horns with those 2 in front of him. He's just gonna get a nice seat behind, and I see him running on into the money, if not winning. I think he's the value in the race. Sheila at the weights is certainly the one to beat. I mean, you can see she comes up trumps, 1.5 kilos best in over here. Cracking efforts in the computer form sprint. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race. I think it's gonna be out of the top draw, to be honest. Just to watch, in terms of watching.
I have no doubt. I think a lot of these horses might just be making a trip to Durban for 1 or 2 races in and out, and I'm sure they'll be raiding from the Highveld. So we wish all the trainers, the jockeys and the owners all the best with this particular contest. It's a great race to watch for us as racing purists. Let's go and see what we're doing with selections. That's up on your screen at the moment. Darren Burrows, well, he's got that quartet floating bankers, 348 by 1256. 96 Rand is what it's going to cost you. That's up on your screen at the moment. Please scan that QR code. It'll take you to the right place, and you'll be able to take the bet accordingly. All right, so this particular race number 6, goes off at 15:35, and it's over 1,000 meters. All right, so I was just having a look at this market, because this is a nice staying race, this particular race coming up, race 7, the penultimate, where Positive Attitude is your favorite at the moment. Something we all need to have in life. 5-1 about this horse. The 10 Absolute Value also at 5-1. 3 Jet Dynasty at 6-1. And it's 13-2 and Better Bar those. All right, so I'm going to switch it up. We're going to go to Daryl Marie first. Daryl Marie, will spit that out again. Yeah, look, Daryl, great race. Speed's obviously going to be everything. I think Absolute Value potentially will get there with that sort of galloping handy weight. You're going to have your closers, Jet Dynasty, Positive Attitude, a horse on the up. And then there's one horse that I do want to include, and a big price for me at 16-1 is Over to You. How do you see this race?
Yeah, how's your attitude?
At the moment, positive.
Oh, great. Payday. Yeah, Brendan, I'll love this race. Let me just put it to you that way. I think I've found the winner in number 5, Breeze Over. Have a look. He's always been reported to have respiratory noises. He gets his tongue tied for the first time, unexposed over the extended trip. He meets Jet Dynasty, 3.5 kilograms better off. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes over the 2400. A horse like Climate Control, I think his last start's better than what it appears on paper because it was in that race. Otto Lucan or Lycan. He came out and ran fourth, what was it, in the Lonsdale. I don't think that race was run to suit him. Also in that race was Willow's Wish, who just got touched off by Zuzane and they pulled clear of the field. So he's another one that's really unexposed of the trip, and without the blinkers being fitted, I think Craig can give him a nice quiet ride. Then you got the likes of Over to You, very encouraging local debut. Then I think he was staying on in the latter stages. He's going to appreciate going over the ground, having his peak run. He's only got 53 kilograms to shoulder, so I read it in that order. I'm going with Breeze over, number 5 to beat 4, and then 7, 5, 4, 7, Brand.
All right, yeah. Let's see what Darren, I've mixed the two D's up here completely. They've got my mind thinking about a few things. Let me quickly go and chat to Darren on the line. Darren, what do you like? I see Daryl doesn't like absolute value with that galloping weight. Not in his selections this afternoon. Do you like absolute value?
Not really. I thought the value in the race lay with Over to You. Now, he's had the 2 runs in Joburg on the Highveld. They were 2 good efforts, and he's now stepping up to the right distance, the right course. That long run-in is what he's looking for. So 53 kilos, peak run. I can see Over to You winning, 16 to 1. Great each-way value for a small bet, but this is a tricky race. Climate Control's a massive runner. I'm glad they removed the blinkers on him in his last start because now he can settle and run on. He'll go very close over the 2,400 meters. Positive attitude, an up-and-coming stayer. He's got 60 kilos, but he is a 4-year-old, lightly raced. He should be competitive. A very, very tricky race. I played very wide in the exotics, but Over to You, small each-way value.
Yeah, and I think perhaps Jet Dynasty is a horse that they've been crying to get over this sort of ground as well. He'll be closing off late in the day. Darren Burrows, each way value 16 to 1 Over to You. I certainly believe this horse will be right there. Sianda Sosibo takes off 2.5 kilograms. No weight on the back. Watch out for these silks. They'll be lashing home late in the day. It's the penultimate race. It's race 7 and it goes off at 4:05. All right, so the lucky last happens now, race number 8, and the next Turffontein race meeting is Sunday the 11th of June. It's a fillies and mares 88 divided handicap, and as I was saying, I think the Jubilee handicap happens on the Sunday the 11th of June at Turffontein. I speak under correction, but it's going to be a good meeting. Nonetheless, you need to bring the family out and enjoy a good day's racing on Sunday, the 11th of June. Important matters in front of us. Let's have a look what we're going to back to get out of it. Let's hope this will set us up for a good weekend of racing. Number 1, Red Maple, 2 to 1. 5, Kind Judy, 9 to 2. The 8, Trump My Queen at 6 to 1. And it's 13 to 2 and better bar those. All right, so I've had a good conversation with Daryl Marie off air, and he's quite bullish on a horse here that's at a decent price. So I'm going to go to Daryl. Let's see what he likes. Daryl, give us the confidence you need because I believe you found us some value.
Yeah, I can't believe the current price of Trump My Queen. I thought you'd be closer to favourites. Red Maple's too short in the market. You can see Kind Judy holds on paper. But then again, Red Maple's an improving 3-year-old. Kind Judy's sort of in her place. Yeah, Brandon, what interests me over here is number 7, Quiet Rebellion. Now, it says disqualified last time out. I had a look at the Starps report and says no disqualifications in the race. I'd love to know what the reason was for her being disqualified. Yeah, but you haven't stopped saying you've got something in the 8th race at Turffontein. Now's the time to come clean. Who is it?
Look, I really like, and I know I've probably got a big task in front of me, but I really like Red Maple. Okay. I was very impressed last time out. I know, what was that, 7 points for that victory, beating Peyton's Tears. There was a horse ipso facto, I think, in the race, but I was super impressed with the way once Smunga got down to ask her, she had turned it on. Taking into consideration, there didn't look to be too much speed in front, and I think she'll be a better horse aiming at something. So Yep, 60 kilograms, gone up in the ratings. It's obviously going to be a bit tougher against some hard hitters with Khan Judy, a few others, Trump My Queen, which you like. But we'll race home for a baguette.
Yeah,
A nice
absolutely.
Avo and chicken baguette. You go Trump My Queen, and I'll go with Red Maple.
Yeah, certainly. You know, Red Maple, I think it was Mark de Kock that once said, if you've got a Silvano filly that shows something as a 2 or 3-year-old, you can certainly look forward to a brighter future as they race on and get older. And she falls into that bracket. Strictly on paper, she's got her work cut out. And what I'm going to suggest to you is wait till race time. You'll get better than 2-1.
Lovely. I'll take that. Thank you very much. So I'll wait for the price on Red Maple. We're going to go to Darren. Let's see what Darren likes. Darren's actually got a very shrewd horse for us over here. Big price in that. I'll let you take it away, Darren. Tell us what you like and why you like Princess Kesh.
Well, firstly, Brandon, she's dropped in her last 3 starts. She's dropped from 81 down to a 73. Course and distance, she ran second in the Oaks trial, where she lost ground at the start and she got touched off by Light of the Moon. I just feel with 52.5 kilos back over this track and trip, I'm not saying have a bet at 33-1, but include her into your swingers, quartets. She can make it pay. Now, obviously, Red Maple, she's on the up. I labelled her last time out. She won with a ton in hand, and there's more to come from this filly. She can't be ignored in any bets. Opera Glass, I give a chance. And a shrewdie to include as well is Say Yes. She's out of Arcola, a stamina pedigree, and she steps up to 2,000 meters for the first time. So the Tony Peter runner can't be ignored in your bets.
Again, a big thank you to Daryl Marie and a big thank you to Darren Burrows. Let's see what they like over here. Each way Princess Kesh for Darren Burrows. Current price 25-1. So you can't get hurt at that particular price. We'll update that slide. Let's go and see what Daryl Marie suggests when it comes to the 8th and final. He's going each way on Trump My Queen, who's currently priced up at 6-1. And they are of the opinion that this horse will shorten up come race time. All right, thanks to the Waiter to Win viewers, to Ricky and the whole team doing a wonderful job behind the scenes. We'll chat again soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.